Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm Miss Lisa, and this is my YouTube channel where we talk about science and math. And what we're doing today is using our TI-84 graphing calculator. You can do this with the 82 or 83 also. But we're going to make a scatter plot. Now, I don't know if this is the most useful thing. Normally in science, we make our scatter plots on computer now, but it's important that you learn how to do everything your calculator can do. Know what all the buttons are for. That way you don't like push something and go, oh no, what did I do? It's good to know everything. And that's where I've seen this the most is kids will on accident, they'll end up in the plot screen, and the plot screen is useful, but they'll end up on an accident and go, Miss Blackburn, this is not working. This is plotting the wrong thing. So what I've done so far is I turned on the calculator, that button right there, and mine has just the regular math screen up. And you can tell I was doing some fun math with logarithms, fancy math. That's always more fun. All right, so what we're doing is we're going through this McDougal Littell Algebra 2 book. I got weird shadows on this. Let's see if I can fix it by shoving it up. Yeah, that's better. Anyway, and the thing I love about these McDougal Littell books, and yes, I'm not sponsored by them. In fact, I think they got bought out. I don't even know that they're a book company anymore. I could be wrong about that. But they have these calculator labs. They're called using technology activities. And all through their books, they teach you how to use your TI 83, 84 graphing calculators, and that is so useful. The more you can know these calculators, the better you're going to do on the ACT and the SAT and college algebra and all of that, because they're allowed to be used. But most people, they buy them, but then they don't really use them for what they're good for. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a graph. We're going to make a scatter plot. And the data they want us to use is this right here. So the age is going to be our x's, and the time in minutes is going to be our y's. And this is kids doing the Presidential Fitness Award. We're going to graph their data. All right. So first we're on our regular math screen. And if you want to clear out what's on yours, if you just hit clear, it makes it look all prettier. But where we're going to go is we are going to go to this button that says stat. So everybody push that. And we want to edit it, meaning we want to put in some data. So we're going to say enter. And now you get this screen with these L1, L2. These are lists. And you might already have something in there like me, or you might not. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to use your arrow keys and go over to list 1, and you are going to put in this new data. Now, you can just write over it, or you can delete it. When you need to delete it is when your new list has less points of data than your old list did. And then you use this delete button. See, I pushed delete and it took care of it. Now, this is the warning. If you end up with your cursor up here and push delete, it will delete the whole list. And that's a big old pain. You can get it back, but it's better to never delete it in the first place. I'll show you at the end how to get it back if you delete it an accident. But every year I have kids who, I did it, Miss Blackburn. I deleted the whole list. Okay, so I'm going to start putting in, I'm going to show you how you write over it. So my first point of data is 10. It's down here, and when I hit enter, it pops it up there. Do you see that? So it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and whenever I'm doing this with a group of, I usually have a little class of kids, they always beat me in putting in the data. They're always faster than I am. Okay, so that was my list 1. Now I use the arrow keys to go over to list 2. I'm going to use the arrow keys to go up, and I start putting in my y's. So my first one is 7.95. You use the point right down here. 0.95, and then the next one is 7.53, and then 7.18, and now you're going, can she be any slower? 6.83, I am slow, I'll just tell you. 6.83, I got it. I just don't want to do it wrong. 6.43, when I hurry, I end up pushing the button wrong and getting it wrong. 6.33. I always say that every time I do the wrong problem, I get the wrong answer. Every single time. Now, theoretically, you probably could get the right answer from the wrong problem, but I just seem to always get it wrong. All right, so there it all is. And notice for the last one, I just did 6.1. You could do 6.10, but, they're the same thing. So another thing I check is I check to make sure I have the same number of points of data, because if I skipped one, I can check it right here, and sometimes I can find my mistake. All right, now what I'm going to do is I am going to, you could go back to stat, and you could do different things with this data. You could go over and run little tests on it. You could do statistics on this data. You could get, your standard deviation and stuff like that you could get your mean, median, and mode kind of things. You could do regressions, but we don't want to do any of that. What we want to do is we want to go and we want to graph it. So we're going to go, our button that says y equals, but instead of putting in a line, we want to plot points. So we're going to do second y equals, and do you see how that's off? We're going to select it and turn it on. Now, we want to check and make sure that it's going to make dots. That's what we want. We want it to use for our data list 1 and list 2, and mine is going to be blue. So all that looks good, so I'm fine with that. Now, the next thing the book says to do is to check your window, but I like to live dangerously, so I'm just going to hit graph. Oops. Now, that right there was something else I have going on in here, and my points aren't showing up. So living dangerously wasn't all that good. So I'm going to go back to my y equals screen. See that line? That was that blue line that graphed. That was the wrong thing. I'm going to clear that out of there so it's not graphing that. It's just going to graph my points. And now I'm going to obey them and go look at my window. I don't have any negative numbers, so I push the window button. So my minimum can be 0. And also with the y, my minimum can be 0. Now, for my x's, they go up to 17. And do you see how my max is 10? So that's not good. I'm going to make my max 20. And now I'm going to go down to the y's, and my max goes about to 10. I'm going to put it on 10. And I think that looks pretty good. And let's see if this time I'm going to hit graph again. And done, I got it. And look, it looks just like theirs. Now, what they want you to do is to, another thing you can do is you can do the trace button. And then you can see that on that point that's blinking, that x is 10 and y is 7.9. I can go this one. And now for that blinky dot, x is 11 and y is 7.3. So I can scroll through my data and I can, read things about it using that trace button. All right. So now that once you're through doing this is what everybody does wrong, is they forget to go turn off the plot again, and then they'll be doing some other graph and whoops, there's those points again. So I'm going to undo this now by going back to stats plot, and I'm going to turn it off. Oh, let me show you. And I could go here and turn it off. So I'm going to hit enter. And I could go here and turn it off. But I want to show you that actually you don't have to do that. I'm going to quit. Remember, quit is always second mode. I'm going to go back to y equals. And do you see how plot is all darkened in? I can actually turn it on and off from here. I use my arrow keys. I go up there. I hit enter. Do you see how it's not darkened anymore? It turned it off. So a lot of times you'll be on this screen and things are messing up and you go up there and you've turned on your stat plot. The other thing is I have a weird window going now. So I'm going to go to zoom and I'm going to go to number 6 standard, and that resets my calculator to a nice regular window with all 4 quadrants. All right. So if you're following along in the book, you're going to do all 4 of these problems. Usually I only have you do the odds, but you're going to do all 4. And there's your sample answer for number 4. But I want you to do them all evens and odds because they all go together, where you're going to be making another graph. All right? So have fun. I think the calculator is one of the most fun parts of this class. And the better you get at it, I promise, the better you're going to do on the SAT, the ACT, and college math. So take time to get at your calculator. Math is great. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.